Hey everybody, it's Chuck here at ConNooga for Free For All Podcast and FreeForGeeks.com. I'm here, and I'm a little stoked, with one of my favorite authors of all time, science fiction novel legend, Timothy Zahn. Mr. Zahn, it is an absolute pleasure to talk with you today.
Thank you. It's fun. It's great to be on your podcast.
Cool. Now, if I stutter and stammer, I apologize in
Okay.
advance. I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you.
And it has a lot to do with really the first book I ever read outside of the main Star Wars movies, Heir to the Empire and the Thrawn trilogy there. That has meant a lot to the Star Wars generation, especially people around my age. What did that mean to you? I know you wrote books and short stories leading up to that particular point, but what was kind of the process of getting involved in writing stuff that already had kind of some canon to it already, and that process? What did it mean to you?
Yeah. Well, obviously it meant a big boost to my career, having a book with Star Wars on the cover.
Right.
I did not pitch this anywhere. It was offered to me. Bantam Books and Lucasfilm had made a deal to do 3-book continuation of the Star Wars saga.
Right.
And Bantam's editors had submitted a list of authors. Lucasfilm liked my style, and I got this completely out of the blue phone call from my agent. What's it like to work with Star Wars and other franchises? It is tricky because you have to capture the feel of the universe. Every universe feels different. Star Wars, Star Trek, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they all have a different feel and atmosphere to them. And of course I have to be careful that I can make a story that feels like Star Wars, and I also have to be able to capture the essence of the movie characters. But once I've got that, with the Thrawn trilogy, the story flowed pretty easily. I came up with the idea, the new characters. I understood Han, Luke, and Leia, and Wedge, and how they will all interact and all of that.
Right.
So it's a matter of just putting your mind into that universe and writing the way you would want a new Star Wars movie to go.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's an interesting segue. Speaking of the new
segues
Star
are our
Wars,
business.
speaking of the new Star Wars movies, Disney buying the rights out to Lucas and all that kind of stuff. They consider the expanded universe stuff prior to that, Star Wars Legends or whatever.
Right.
How does that change the way that you're approaching any future Star Wars projects? Or
Well, first of all, I've not yet been asked to do any more Star Wars books. I'm hoping they know where to find me. They know I'm interested, so we'll see what happens. The purchase doesn't mean anything, by Disney. Lucasfilm is still in charge of all this, so that part doesn't affect me.
Okay.
The whole Legends thing, think of it as all the expanded universe has been taken and put in a drawer where they don't have to look at it, they don't have to coordinate with it. However, they all own all of it. So they can go into that drawer at any time, pull out little bits and pieces.
Okay.
We've seen this with the prequel movies. So I know of at least 3 times they've taken something from the expanded universe. One was Coruscant, my name for the Imperial planet.
Right.
The second was the catching of Force lightning on a lightsaber blade. I did that.
Right.
And Darth Maul's double-ended lightsaber, I think, first showed up in a Dark Empire comic.
Right.
So they have a history of pulling stuff from the expanded universe and putting it into the movies. I expect we'll see bits and pieces along the way with the movies, the spin-offs, and whatever else they do. We just won't know until we see the movie what any of those are going to be.
Right. I'm hoping to see Jade. I think that's a fantastic character that you created, and of course Grand Admiral Thrawn as well.
Thank you. As far as Mara is concerned, even if there's no role for her in the movie, all you need is a woman about Luke's age with red hair walk by in the background,
That's right.
and the fans will be happy.
Oh,
We'll
I'll
see.
go
Yes.
nuts. And as far as that stuff, that's canon in my heart. So
Well, thank you.
that's all we need as far as that's concerned.
If you enjoy the stories, it doesn't matter if they're called legends or not.
Right.
They're a story about Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia. And as long as you enjoy the story, it's like listening to a legend around the campfire here
Right.
on Earth. You don't know whether Davy Crockett really did this stuff, but it doesn't matter. It's a fun story, and Davy Crockett's a historical figure. sitting here listening to this legend about Luke Skywalker and Grand Admiral Thrawn. You've heard of Luke Skywalker. This is the kind of thing he might do. So, you know,
Right.
whether there's a germ of truth or whether it's all true or it's all made up, doesn't really matter. We can enjoy it.
That's an excellent point. Now, of course, you write other things other than Star Wars books. You have over 45 novels, 100 short stories, and whatnot. Is there anything in particular here? I know that you just had a new Cobra book.
New Cobra book,
published.
second book of the Cobra Rebellion trilogy.
Okay.
My first, my collaboration with David Weber in the Honor Harrington universe, Manticore Ascendant. I've got a techno thriller, original techno thriller I've done, collection and kind of a story cycle based on some stories I did in the 90s for Analog magazine. So I'm keeping busy.
Oh yeah, it doesn't seem like you're slowing down at all, which is fantastic.
Not really.
Okay, so a very important question before we let you get back to making money and making people happy is a buddy of mine and myself want to go in halvesies on this Thrawn trilogy here.
Okay.
We've kind of worked out all the the arrangements with the lawyers on who gets them on what week. However, we're stuck on holidays, birthdays, and whatnot, and we thought a fair mediator would be yourself. So,
Okay.
how about a solid opinion from an expert?
You need to make a list of the holidays you want to include in this.
Okay.
Flip a coin.
Okay.
The winner gets first pick of the holiday.
Okay, that's fair.
Other person gets the second pick. It's sort of like picking a team for grade school baseball.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that
Sure,
seems fair.
that's about like a snake round, you go up and down like a giraffe.
And I think that for two of those, you need to designate a friend who's never read them, and they get them that weekend.
I don't want anybody touching them, to be fair. Mr. Zahn, it has been an
Okay.
absolute honor and a privilege. And if you haven't checked out any of Timothy Zahn's work, do yourself a favor, stop what you're doing, and do it right now. This is Chuck. I'll talk to you guys later.
This is Tim. Bye.
Yep.